welcome back to episode number 7 of the Daily Traders podcast. There we go. Turn up my mic. Thank you. That's perfect. Hey, I'm your host, Mark. This is Jack, and we're back. I just got back from vacation, took a week off, much needed vacation, but I think it's important that everyone it doesn't matter what you do, everyone needs a vacation, especially traders, because it's a stressful job. I was getting stressed. The last month and a half has been a lot between recording the podcast, recording the YouTube videos, and trading. And so I'm back and I feel like motivated and inspired and ready to go and ready to make some really good trades and ready to make a good podcast today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All
right, little disclaimer we got to put in here. We are not financial advisors. We cannot give financial advice. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as financial advice. The full disclaimers is in the description below, so check that out before listening. All right, thanks.
Did you miss trading when you were away?
I did, and I was tempted to trade, and I was saying this to my assistant. I have ruined so many vacations by putting on a trade.
Yeah, because you're just obsessed with that position and you're constantly monitoring it.
Yeah, it's inevitable that if you have a trade on, that's always going to be in the back of your mind. And so, I remember the last vacation I was on. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to trade. I was on the airplane. I thought it would be cool to put on a trade in the airplane, take on a trade. I took on the trade. It was just meant to be like a scalp, and then I ended up getting stuck in that the whole vacation, and it just kind of ruined it.
You got stuck in a scalp? That's pretty unreal.
I'm not going to get into
How
detail.
How do you get stuck in a scalp? You got to explain that.
Let's just say I didn't want to take a atrocious loss. Now, this was back when I was
going to say, that sounds kind of
very
rookie.
newbie. It was a rookie move. And I was down like $2,000 on a short position, and the contracts expired at the end of the week. And I held them into the next day. I was on the plane when the market closed, just decided to hold it. And then the next day I was down even worse, and I held that position until expiration and ended up losing like 98% of them on those contracts.
Yeah, it sounds like a newbie mistake.
Yeah, that was like 3 years ago. So don't do that. And that was a good little trading story. And I know people enjoy the trading stories, so we're going to try to talk about some more trading stories. Specifically, my trading stories from LA, which we were scheming last night. We went out to dinner and we got a bunch of fun stories to talk about.
Yeah, something I've noticed is that a lot of the ones that do well on the TikTok are the ones where we're losing money.
I know.
And I have to put the caption of like DM us whatever on Instagram.
It's also annoying because a lot of the trades that we lost money were our first trades, right? When our first trade, kind of when we started to get it, so we were trading with larger positions and we were losing more. That's ultimately when we were losing the most money. And there's just no context in the clips. So people are like, these guys are idiots. Why would you ever? Oh, what did I do? I said
because it seems like it's a current thing.
Yeah, and it's just not. It's just like stupid mistakes that we made at the beginning of the trading, but they're funny and they're interesting, and that's why they get the most views. And they lack context, so it's an issue.
Yeah.
But, I was also on vacation, and unlike you, I did take some trades. Nice. And I am shooting myself in the foot right now because I was with my grandparents. I don't see them too often, so I was like, all right, I'm going to just exit these trades. And I took like a small win on it, and it just shot up. Like it just went parabolic up, and I missed out on thousands of dollars just by. It was just a stupid mental error. I was like, you know what? I'm up a good amount on this trade. I know it it wasn't even close to the level where I was going to take profits, but I was like, whatever. I'm with my grandparents. I should just take profits and ignore trading for the rest of the week. And I did that, and I lost.
You missed out.
I lost a lot of money. Or I didn't lose. It was money I could have made, but that one definitely hurt a little bit.
Yeah, but I feel like when it comes to like family and spending time with family, like I always now try to prioritize that over trading, because I used to prioritize trading, but now it's important to spend time with your grandparents. So I wouldn't consider that a loss. Consider that a win.
Yeah, right? No, it definitely wasn't a loss. I probably learned, I think something that's super important in trading is learning to, there's no such thing as a loss as long as you're able to learn from it. Like if you lose money and you learn from it, that's not a loss to me. You know what I mean? Like let's say you have a really bad day trading, you make some really bad mental errors, but you learn from it and you start doing, it's pretty unrealistic to say I'm never going to make this mistake again. But if you learn from it and then are aware of the mistakes that you made, I think that's a win, because that's ultimately how you get better. So looking at losses as losses is not necessarily a good way to improve.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was so I'll talk about this story because I think it's an inspirational one.
Yeah.
And I know people like the inspiration. So I was in LA. I lived in that mansion with a bunch of these influencers for like a month and a half, right in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And I was waking up early. Everyone was sleeping in, and there were a lot of mornings where, and I'll talk about one specifically where I had woken up, I had gone out, Uber Eats some breakfast, sat by the pool, right? Like living the dream and trading. And I was up like $8,000. It was like $8,500 within 10 minutes of market open. Market opened at 6:30 in LA. So it was 6:40. I was up $8,500 and all my roommates were sleeping. And that was like that was like a moment where I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm around all these kids that are really like, they're doing well. They're doing just as well as me, if not better. But I think I always say, like, do everything you can to be like, to put yourself aside from everyone else to be in the top 1%. And even if you're living with people in the top 1%, like, that doesn't give you an excuse to slack off. Like, I could have slept in, could have been lazy. Yeah. I was in the position where, like, hey, like, I had quote unquote made it, but I was still up and hustling and making money. And
nice.
so,
and I mean, that's one of the reasons you're here where you are today. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You didn't fall off. You have to, like, you hear a lot of people say, especially in sports, like, pretend like you're the best and you'll play like the best.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I believe in is never let yourself, like, believe that you're the best or you're ahead or you've done it. Because what happens when you're not second or third place, you're not chasing, right? You're not hustling to constantly improve. And to even just stay stagnant where you are or improve, you have to go above and beyond. I remember in ski racing, I had an issue where my stance was too narrow. And in order to fix that, I had to feel like I was standing super, like, way wider of a stance than I should ever be actually skiing on. But in turn, that made me stand at a normal rate or a normal width, and it helped me ski better. So it's like, if you want to improve, you have to go above and beyond to achieve a certain goal, right? It's like, you can't just do the bare minimum and expect to be successful or be better than everyone else, because your competitors are doing more than you are. So you got to keep working for it.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
Are you still, are you a morning person? I remember you saying that.
Naturally, I'm not. And like, I'll go through times where I get in like a good routine and I wake up early and work out early. And I think I'm going to get back into that because I enjoy the early morning workout.
Yeah.
In LA, I had to went to bed early, went to bed at 8:30, woke up early and worked out. But no, I'm not.
Yeah. Do you believe in that whole, like, if you want to be successful, you have to be up early?
Wake up at 5 a.m., meditate.
Yeah.
Make a smoothie, read your whatever.
Yeah.
Write down goals. No, I don't think so.
So does early bird get the worm?
I know, no, because I know people. I know this guy, genius. He's a tax accountant, right? The guy's like a savant. He's crazy. He stays up all night. He works at night because that's when he's most productive. He literally sleeps all day and works all night.
Yeah,
so it's just specific to the individual. You don't have to wake up at 5 o'clock. To be successful.
Yeah,
that's just like a stereotype. Like, I definitely don't believe in that whatsoever.
Yeah. I think I'm like early bird, wakes up 2 hours zombie, but I get that worm all day long. So it's like, it's like knowing yourself. It's like you can trade. Like, I'm more productive in the afternoon and night. So like, I'm not going to force myself to wake up in the morning super early and it's just counterproductive. It's like knowing who you are.
When I was trading crypto, a lot of the big moves would happen at like 2:30, 3 a.m.
Yeah. Right.
And so I was up like almost all night a lot of the time. And that's when I was making a ton of money. So it was like, it's whatever works for you.
That's interesting. I mean, you didn't even think about that because crypto is obviously like a 24/7 market, right? So there's countries like Australia, Japan, these huge liquid markets, right, where there's a ton of volume. That's when they're trading.
Yeah, there was a lot of movement. I for some reason at 3 a.m. I don't know why, but I remember being able to do really well scalping in the middle of the night. I would go to bed at like 7:30, 8, and then wake up at like 3 and then trade in the morning, or wake up at 2.
You gotta say that again. You'd go to bed.
I would go to bed at like 7:30, 8 p.m. Wake up at like 2, 3 a.m. and then
Oh,
trade.
geez, that's
Yeah.
intense. I
Yeah,
thought you were
I did
saying,
that for a while.
I thought you were saying you
I'd
go to
sleep
bed
all
at,
day.
Yeah,
No.
I was like, that's intense.
No.
Imagine that.
But I am naturally a nighttime person, and so is our editor over here.
I think we're all nighttime people. Yeah, I mean, I'll see
Yeah.
our media guy. He'll send me a Snapchat. I'll be like, dude, you're still in the office. It's like 10:30.
Yeah, you were here until like 1 a.m. the other night.
I
editing.
really like editing the podcast or something like mundane or like doing the thumbnail. Like I like bumping music during the day and like doing like the busy work, like the TikToks, rather than like the YouTube. Even, I mean, our last 2 YouTubes are like pretty easy, but even still that intro, like I get to be creative and like set a vibe that matches the video. And that's important. Mark, you swore earlier, $50. My pocket.
$50.
My bad.
That's a pretty steep swear
We
jar.
established this
Yeah,
rule
we
last
did.
episode.
My bad. I didn't even.
Yeah,
didn't
I
even
forget to
catch
count.
that.
I'm behind this week. I've not edited the podcast yet. That's going to happen later today after the YouTube's done. So,
That last YouTube video was really good. The day in the life.
yep.
If you haven't seen that yet, or I'll just say it, we post a YouTube video every week on the YouTube channel. So if you're listening on Spotify, go check out the channel and subscribe. Weekly YouTube videos. And we put a lot of effort into them. Like, we definitely stand apart from most.
Yeah, they're like legit
Creators.
They're really good videos, like really good content. A lot of my friends who watch them say, "Wow, they're actually good and like and they're interesting and fun to watch." I want to do more videos like the golf one, like playing for money, doing like paintball or like what else could we do? Like
We've got to do a golf part too.
Yeah, we gotta
'cause I
do-
got to make back my 10,000.
maybe we'll think about it.
I had someone. So this was funny. I was at the gym and someone came up to me and he's like, "Hey, I saw you at the golf course, right? We were playing at. I won't say the name." And
Wait, someone that you know?
no, some random guy. He came up to me at the gym. Let me finish my story. So he came up to me at the gym. He's like, "I saw you playing golf," and I was with my buddy. And I told my buddy, that is not his dad's car. Like, that's his car. Now, I guess this guy's seen me pull up to the gym in the McLaren. He saw me at the golf course in the McLaren, and he like introduced himself. And he said he invests in like businesses and whatnot. And he asked,
Oh, he's a venture capitalist?
I don't know if that's sure.
How old is this guy?
35 probably.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, my point being, driving around in like the McLaren or G-Wagon and going to play golf, going to like dinner, making connections. Connections are huge. I was in Colorado. I met some huge businessmen, like giant, like this guy, like literally I was out at this restaurant. The net worth in this restaurant was like billions of dollars.
Yeah.
I got to hold the football trophy. That was cool. Put a picture of that.
football trophy.
Got to wear the rings.
The football trophy.
You know what I mean? And but the what? Yeah, the Lombardi Trophy. Anyway, my point being, repeating myself here, making connections with high net worth individuals to help propel yourself forward is huge. And then when people see you out and about driving nice cars, it just attracts money. And that's like why some people will buy nice cars for the sole purpose of pulling up to a restaurant and people recognize or they see that you're doing well, and then they'll come and introduce themselves to you, which is what happened to me, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, I never even thought about that. It's pretty crazy. He came up to you, was like, "Hey, I recognize you from here."
From golf, and I think that was probably the day when we were filming that video.
Damn, that's sick.
So I'll let you know if I invest in any of his businesses.
Well,
I don't know. I'm going to go get coffee with him.
capitalist.
I don't know any more than a 5-minute conversation with this guy as I left the gym.
that's interesting.
Oh, we're looking at the notes here. I like them up here. This is great.
Yeah,
we moved
I don't
them
like
to our-
checking the phone.
Totally unnecessary massive TV on the wall.
Which we've used only this one time pretty much.
Oh, dude.
Yep.
This is a good note. So we flew first class when we went to Arizona.
Yeah, we did.
Semi first class.
Yeah, I mean,
it
yeah.
sucks. Some of the airlines don't have good first class.
I know.
The flight I'd take from Boston to LA, it was JetBlue, and they had like a really good first class. It was like Mint or something, like legit bed first class. But yeah, now when I fly, I always fly first class. It sounds like douchey, but it's like I can't stand being cramped in the back of a plane. Half the time I'm trying to trade when I'm flying. It's a luxury. It's nice, but that's one of the great things. Like I think it's just so worth it flying first class.
Yeah.
And you know, I see people flexing first class on TikTok, and I had made a TikTok when we were on the jet, and I'm like, imagine flexing first class.
Oh, and you're flexing.
But and now I'm flexing first class. But no, it's something
No, I
that's
think
like
first class is a flex. It's pretty. It's definitely like I remember when I was young, like going by like saying I'll do one first class, and now it's like it feels cool that like I can buy first class.
yeah.
But it's something that it's like one of those things that you work really hard for, and it's like it all kind of starts to come, and like you don't realize, and all of a sudden you realize like you're in the seat. You're like, wow, this is like.
Yeah,
Like, I
it
thought
used to
about this.
seem like a big deal, and I think that the people in first class were like these big ballers
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Well, I remember
And
when
now-
we were flying to Arizona, the guy in front of us owned.
Oh yeah,
That was-
Johnny Rockets.
Yeah, like
yeah,
this huge burger franchise.
yeah. That was pretty
no
cool.
Way. No way.
Yeah.
Serious.
That's putting yourself in scenarios like where other high net worth individuals will be, like going to fancy restaurants, going to like a nice golf course, flying first class.
Yeah.
like it's really neat.
Yeah, I mean, granted, you can't like go up to everyone and be like, hey, "What's your name?" Because it's just like an invasion of privacy. But like to some extent, you gotta. And obviously, you know, if you're starting out, you're trying to make connections. You can't, you know, be buying fancy cars and flying first class and whatnot. But it's like just always thinking about like, okay, like who's here, someone I can meet, and like what type of connection can I make, and making genuine connections, not just I'm gonna meet this guy so I
For
can
his money
for his
to-
money.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
no,
like
of
that's
course not.
That's not a good way. If you go in with that mindset, you're probably gonna end up.
No, I think it's cool because it's meeting people that are doing better than you and surrounding yourself with people that are doing better than you it's what is going to help you move forward in life.
Yeah.
Whether it's just talking to them and getting one little golden nugget out of a conversation. Like I
Yeah.
love sitting down and talking with like successful people, just trying to learn as much as I can and like get inspired and motivated.
Yeah, no, it's like I was talking to this guy one time. I have this pretty good connection, and he's a venture capitalist and a huge tech guy, a huge owner in tech stocks like Samsung, and I knew him through like a friend's friend, and we went on a mountain bike ride together, and the whole time we just talked about venture capitalism, real estate, how he's involved in Detroit right now. You know, Detroit was this huge crime-ridden city, and now it's kind of there's this huge money coming in and investing in the city, and it's just really interesting to see like what one group of people and how they can change an entire like demographic or a geographic location such as Detroit. But it's just a connection. He goes, hey, like if you ever have any questions about business, like call me.
Yeah.
And I use that resource. So it's like keep in touch too. Like keep in touch.
Yeah.
Like don't like not talk to these people for 3 years. Like keep in
Yeah.
touch. Say, hey, like I've been doing this, blah blah blah. How you been? You know what I mean? And that could be it. Like they don't even necessarily have to respond, or if they do, great. It's just like keep it in touch and keep it in the loop. So when you come with them with a question or a business idea 2 or 3 years later, it's not weird. It's like you stayed in touch with this person.
Real life.
That's a
real life
really good
LinkedIn.
point.
Real life LinkedIn. It exists. You know.
And another
Imagine-
thing, this is huge, is get people like gifts. Do like nice gestures, even if they're like rich or they're way more financially stable than or secure or have more money. Whatever, you get the point. Get them like a gift because it's like a nice gesture. It shows that you care. And
Yeah.
it's like I remember I got this one guy I worked for. I got him like a book that he really liked, and he was like,
Cool.
"Oh, like I gave it away, blah blah blah." So I got him the book again, and he really liked it, and we keep in touch ever. But it's like someone like you see that globe right there. Mm-hmm. A friend gave me that globe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and because I
like
helped him
it.
out with stocks.
Cool.
Like it's super cool, and I was like, I saw that, and I was
Yeah.
like, it made me feel good, and even it just. I think like now, even though I respected this kid the same level, it's like I feel like I'm going to keep in touch with him more because he got me that just for some like subconscious thing. But it's like
Yeah.
stay connected with these people. Go out of your way, and like it will pay off. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
So-
a really good point. And that is actually like I'm after this podcast gonna go text a couple people
Yeah.
because I think I didn't think about that until now. And I just was speaking with this trader who I met last year in LA. We went out to dinner, and he's a super nice guy, really genuine guy. And I want to work on a project with him. And I reached back out, and I had texted him this winter, and we had kept in touch. I'd shared like a project I had worked on, and he had shared a book. And so when I had reached back out to him, it wasn't like out of the blue. It wasn't random. And he's
Yeah.
like, all right, let's hop on a call and talk about this.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, and it's like everything that kind of, if you think about it, everything that happens comes from some type of connection or some type of like thing you can learn from someone and pick up. I talked about this a couple like in one of the earlier episodes how like just my connection with you brought me here. It's really cool. But
we gotta talk about. He might be listening, but I don't know if he listens to the full podcast. We're planning a big gift for our videographer once he heads out in beginning of August.
Yeah. Okay.
Mark and I
this.
went out to dinner last night, and we were pricing out the future gift for our videographer, which is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm really
We should
excited.
get
can we
that.
like talk about because
No.
He'll hear this.
He might be listening.
but this will
He'll
air
somehow
after
hear this
because he leaves pretty soon, right?
no,
Nah,
it'll
he'll
come
still
out
be
around
here.
the same time.
Yeah, let's not say
Okay.
anything else.
But we're planning
I'm
a big
excited
gift
for that.
for a videographer. He'll come on. That'll be really exciting because he's a great guy, very, very cool story, and very motivated. Does amazing work. I love editing his footage.
Yeah, we've got some stories together because he's been with me since like day one, quite literally. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's
quite
sad
interesting.
he's leaving, but I'm happy for him.
Me too,
He's
because
moving
I'm
on,
about
next
to be.
step in life.
I'm about to be way busier. Once he's
Yep. Right.
so,
That's good. That's good. Hey, what's this parking situation? We
Oh.
need more context here.
Well, I was gonna wait. I actually have an alarm set for 1:00 because freaking the city we
The
live
parking
in,
here,
it
yeah.
sucks, and there's a parking lot kind of close to the office, and I've been trying to get a freaking monthly pass, but they're like full for the next like 2 years, and I was like, listen, I'll pay you like double. The guy was like,
did you?
Yeah, and the guy was like, no, like sorry, we can't do that, but
I bothered
and-
them every day for a month straight, and they finally gave me a
dude,
spot.
it's so annoying. So what I have to do is there's parking right on the street, which is super close to the office, but there's a 2-hour maximum.
Oh.
So I park, and I have to set an alarm on my phone, and every 2 hours I have to go down and buy the meter and redo it. It's right close to the office, so it's kind of easy. But it's like sometimes I'll be in the middle of a trade and I like can't leave my computer, and I just say screw it, and I come down and I get like a $20 ticket. So I've racked up like at least 6 of these tickets.
We took a
Like a good amount of these stupid parking tickets.
we took a gamble the other day. We were out at lunch, and I decided, because parking is like impossible
Oh,
here, I
that
decided
was
to
me
just
and you,
park
right?
into an illegal
Yeah.
spot with the McLaren, and I'm like, all right, we gamble for a living, right?
Yeah.
Not really, but well, we
Yeah.
kind of do
a little bit.
a little bit. Anyway, I'm like, no way, we get a ticket, and we got back. It was like a $90 ticket.
Yeah,
and
for
I
like-
swear that's like way more than the average ticket here. But I got discriminated against because it's a nice car. Like
Is
I
it-
actually
do they
think
do that?
like, have you ever gotten a $90 parking ticket out front?
No, I get $20.
Yeah, it was like 3 times the normal.
That's
ticket.
so interesting. Does anybody know in here if they can? We have a little audience, by the way,
What's up?
which is fun.
oh yeah, we have 2 people in the office today.
Yeah.
One of Jack's friends and assistant.
Yeah,
It's funny. We should get.
Um,
Have you ever seen like live where they have like a huge audience and they go like, ah,
That would be really fun in the new space because I'm
Yeah.
thinking like a little bit of an elevated stage that assistant and I could build. Wouldn't be too hard, just a bunch of 2x4s, you know.
yeah,
and
that would be
then,
really cool.
To make it like raised up a little bit so it looks like the windows actually go down to the floor. I wish they did. They almost do, but either way, we could just have like a few couches against the wall, unless my computer will be there like that. The setup behind you might be there against the wall. I don't know. We'll see.
It'll be interesting.
We need a
yeah.
clean set. We need like
Oh, it'll be clean.
I don't want any.
I think we're gonna hang the sign down from like whatever table. Like we'll probably put like 2 of these in there. Like put 2 of these back to back for a big like center table
Okay.
or something, and then have that like hanging from the front of it. That would be really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dope.
Either way,
It's
this
gonna
is
be a dope
tough for the
setup.
audio listeners. We apologize.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Also, I apologize to audio or just anybody. Like, there's the people below us being really loud today. They were throwing a party like last Friday when I was editing.
Really?
Yeah, they were playing a bunch of Kanye, which I was all right with. But
funny.
like hearing it through the walls, just like
We
kinda
can't
funny.
even complain though. There's still been some late night ping pong tournaments.
We're loud in here sometimes.
So we can't even complain for other people being loud.
We're almost on
We don't have
episode
the right-
10. That's crazy.
This is episode 7.
Yeah, so
I mean, 7.
we're 3 episodes away from beating 80% of podcasts or something like that don't make it past episode 10.
Yeah.
So
Wait, does that say on the notes fact from YouTube comments?
Yeah, somebody's put that in the YouTube comments. I was
So
like,
okay,
wow.
do we like fact check this, or
Oh, that's
are
a
we
great
just
idea.
going?
our
off of
fact checker is gonna fact check this. We hired someone to fact check
Holy
everything we say
tabs,
in here.
dude.
Hey, don't worry about it.
This is absurd. Our editor guy is. I can't even count that high. That's insane.
I just took a screenshot so people can see.
That's
Oh
really
my
funny.
word! You gotta
Dude,
close
that's
those
absurd.
out.
Anyways, well, he does that. he said 2x4, which reminded me of one of my first jobs. I think we should talk about like our first job.
Okay.
I worked construction for 2.5 years.
Really?
That I think working that job is one of the reasons why I was motivated at like a young age, because let me tell you, that job sucked. Like it was. I worked it during the summer, and I worked. I was working third. I had 2 jobs. I worked at the coffee shop, and I worked construction. So I worked 20 hours construction, 20 hours at a coffee shop, and I hated that. I mean, it was brutal. It was hot out, and I was just like the grunt. I was like young, so all like the older guys, like I just did grunt labor all day long. It was like I remember one time I moved. Have you ever lifted up a piece of plywood, a full sheet? They're 4 feet, 1 inch. They're used for the, what are they called? Shielding. I don't know, but they go on the side of a house, and they're 1 inch thick, and they're 4 feet by 8 feet, and they're super awkward to carry, and they weigh like 60 pounds. And the guy, my boss, goes, "Yo, carry all of this huge pallet of plywood." I think there might have been 2 of them, all the way over across the property, because we're gonna be siding this side of the house. So I go, okay, yeah, whatever. And I carry one at a time, like probably 50 sheets of plywood, and I put him down, and he goes, "Oh, that was the wrong side of the house." I'm like, what the? And I spent all day doing this.
Yeah,
and it was hot, and I had like
awful.
splinters in my hand. And I remember after that day of work, I was like, screw this job. And I still worked at it for the rest of the summer, but
How much did you make that day doing that?
oh, dude, this is actually probably fun. I think I was getting paid 17 an hour,
Okay.
which wasn't bad for, a
So
15-year-old kid.
What did you make? Like $100
Yeah, probably like $100.
with all that hard work.
All that hard work.
Now think about it. You just click one button and wait like a minute and a half, and you can make $100.
Or I'm down a couple thousand, or I'm up a couple. It's like,
True.
But that's the learning curve, and there's definitely potential. And I remember some of my first trading days where I made money that really opened my eyes. Like, oh my gosh, this is so much better.
Yeah. What was my first job? Probably mowing, just mowing lawns, doing like landscape yard work,
Yeah,
leaves, raking up leaves.
Yeah, I did that too. You were telling me you also owned a.
Whose phone's ringing?
Or maybe we shouldn't have a live audience.
Oh God.
One time it actually goes off.
Nah, it's all right. Yeah, that mowing was brutal because you'd be out there in the hot sun all day, just driving in circles. I mean, I would put in music and listen to music and then get yelled at because apparently you're not supposed to listen to music because if you run over like a rock or something, you don't know if your mower like broke.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. But I would like sneak in the headphones.
That's funny.
That wasn't fun, but that's how I made enough money to buy my first computer.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I also, this is really funny. I owned a lawn mowing company when I was like, I wouldn't say it was a legal company. It was owned by me, a 13-year-old kid, with my parents' Ryder lawnmower and a dinky trailer that I bought off eBay. But yeah, I remember buying like my first weed whacker, and I bought my own leaf blower, and I hired some of my friends, and I was paying them fucking dirt cheap. I was paying them like $5 an hour, but we were like kids, so it didn't really matter that much. And yeah, I would have my parents drive the mower on the back of the trailer to a lawn, and I'd mow, and I was making all right money. And I remember one time I went to this person's house, and I was kind of like, I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it because I committed to these clients. Mm-hmm. And they had a rope, they had a play set and a rope that was all over the ground.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've ever ridden over a rope on a lawnmower.
I still don't really understand.
Apologies.
This thing is so distracting.
Yeah.
Hey,
Editors back here like going between tabs. This TV's so huge. I'm just like, whoa, there's something going on.
I thought the audio was coming through our mixer recorder anyway, and it's muted on here. But clearly,
Man, you're just on Reddit. He's just on Reddit
I was
right now.
looking at the source because if you publish 21 podcast episodes, you'll be in the top 1% of podcasts globally because they all fail before then.
Oh, we'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
bad.
We'll
We're going to get there, which is like kind of an exciting fact, because there are 2 million podcasts. Like, what wants to have a podcast top 1%?
Wow, that's crazy. All right, continue with your story.
Okay.
Sorry
anyways,
about that.
anyways.
Just thought I would butt in there.
If you could imagine a thing that's spinning really fast in a rope,
Yeah.
When the two meet, it's not great, and the rope gets tangled up in like the lawnmower thing, and the engine like blows up. And I call my dad. I'm like, because it's not my mower. You know, mowers are like $2,000-$3,000.
Yeah.
I was borrowing my parents for this company or whatever. I was paying for gas, and yeah, I ruined the mower, and we had to get a new one.
I killed some mower blades
Can't
too.
say they were happy.
Yeah, so I think everyone's realizing right now, like we don't come from like rich families. Like people think
No.
we've been given all of this. Like people think my cars are rented. They think they're my dad's cars, and it's like no. Like we literally like. Where my journey started was quite literally sitting on a lawnmower, driving in circles all day to make enough to buy my first computer that I could start trading with.
Yeah.
Like that was like the progression for me. And like, that's like why I always say anyone can do this and there's no excuses.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, it's such a progression. And it didn't even necessarily start with trading. It started with mowing lawns, right?
Yeah.
And I remember my first,
And many things in between.
I mean, I think one similarity between both of us is that we were both kind of like young entrepreneurs. Like I remember when I was super little, like 4 or 5, I had like a little rock store. And I would go out and I'd collect rocks and I'd sell them to the neighbors.
Yeah.
But it was like, I mean, I'd make like $1 a rock or so, like something super like insignificant at money, but it's like that kind of hustle
Yeah.
that it's gonna get you somewhere. And it's like you gotta, because one thing grows into another and life changes. Like I'm sure like you started with like affiliate marketing, right?
Well, that was after mowing.
Yeah, so you went
So I
from
tried a lot
mowing
of things.
to affiliate marketing, and
Yeah.
then I'm sure I mean,
I mean, and before that, like I remember, what was it? Oh, this was probably when I was like 5, maybe 6. I would make Legos, like make a Lego set, make something out of Legos. I was into Legos, and I'd raffle. I'd go to like a family event. So if I knew our Thanksgiving was coming up, I'm like, all right, I gotta make a sick Lego set, and then I'd
sick.
raffle that off to the family to make like $20.
nice. And the
that's
funny thing
hype.
is,
That was probably my first business.
the funny thing is that your mom or whatever who bought the Lego set probably like paid $50 for that, and you're like selling it for 20.
Yeah, probably.
She's like, well, there you go. 'Cause Legos aren't cheap.
My parents were always really supportive of everything
Yeah.
I did, which
Good.
was awesome.
They took the 40% loss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's great.
But you took that gain.
I did.
I think Mark's most annoying job side hustle was by far drop shipping.
Yeah.
I remember when you were into drop shipping, and
Yeah.
like I remember like the Shopify notifications. Like whenever I hear a Shopify notification now, like anybody else, like I was at a bar in town. And I heard like I was talking to like this couple, and then like the guy gets a Shopify notification.
You really heard a Shopify notification.
Yeah, no,
Oh
because
my
I asked them
God.
what they did, and because they sheltered dogs and everything, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, they definitely do other things than this. I don't know how much money that makes. And then I hear a Shopify notification goes off. I'm like,
I know what
I'm
you're
like,
up to.
no, I respect it. That's a side hustle. Respect.
Yeah. I think annoying is the right word when it came to me leaving my notifications off. I mean, on in school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, our
was a good
social
feel-
studies.
it was a good
our
feeling,
social
though.
studies teacher was not happy one day about that.
Nah,
Yeah,
but
she was cool though.
oh boy,
She was actually one of my favorites. I got her to write a college rec for me.
nice.
Yeah.
All right, go back to the notes. We're getting off
I
topic.
think actually we should go to a break. We're 37 minutes.
Okay.
in.
Oh yeah, I still have to pay my car parking. So I don't
Okay.
get a
Oh,
ticket.
yeah. You
I have an
gotta do
alarm.
that.
I have
Go
an alarm
do
set
that.
at 1. It's
You
12:56.
definitely have
so.
a ticket now.
Yeah.
No, I set it 5 minutes before.
Come
my
back
ticket
if you have a
starts.
ticket. We'll say if you have a ticket or not.
Yeah.
I bet you have a ticket.
Stick around.
I'm piecing up the parking guy if I have a ticket because my tickets are all covered. Anyways,
All right, we'll be back.
it's a great noise to hear.
And we're back.
Yes, we are.
All right, we got some tragic news.
You do that voice, please.
Jack, you want the voice?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, hang on. Here.
Here you go. No, that's
Their
Voice.
There we go. Alright. Got a parking ticket.
Yo, yeah, he
I'm
got
not
a
even
parking
kidding.
ticket. I told you. I knew you would have
Dude,
one.
I paid, but
called
no.
that.
This is why I'm pissed because I paid for the ticket. I literally set an alarm because I've racked up so many of those tickets, dude. And I set an alarm. So every 2 hours I set an alarm. And today I had my friend go down and do it. And he comes up with a parking ticket. I'm like, there's no way. Cause I actually pay. Like all the other tickets I got, like fair game, I didn't pay and I ignored them. But I literally had the thing on my dash that said this parking ticket is good. And they still gave me a ticket. So if you're the parking guy and you're listening to this, it's on site, dude. Like, I'm actually livid right now. It's throwing off my
How much
day.
was it? $20?
Yeah, I mean, it's just annoying. Cause
Yeah,
it's
it's annoying. 'Cause
It's
you gotta
not
go online
a big
and pay
deal.
it. And
Then I think I don't. I mean, this might be illegal, but I don't. Can I just not pay it? Someone was saying
you'll get booted after 3, I think, right?
if I pay them. Because honestly, now that I think about it, it's more affordable. Because all the parking garages around here are like $10 an hour. It's absurd. So I was like, I'm just gonna pay on the street, like bite that little $2 fee or whatever. And but I would way rather just get a ticket every day, $20. It's like I was gonna pay more than that in parking anyways.
That's true.
And
That's probably how they see it. All right, we're going to answer some questions.
Okay.
I just took a poll on Instagram, or not a poll, but I just said, hey, anyone, if you have any questions, message me. And we got like a couple hundred. So here's a good one. Future cars. I'll let you run with this one because you got a car in mind.
oh yeah, I'm gonna get a BMW blacked out BMW i8 before I'm 19.
Blacked out BMW.
Yeah, it has to be blacked out. And the reason I'm waiting, I could probably get it now, but I want to buy it in cash.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna save up. I'm saving up right now.
Yeah, there's a rule I heard. It's like God, it was like probably I think the guy said like if anything is more, if you're trying to buy something and it is more than 10% or is 5% of your net worth, then like you shouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
So theoretically, if it's $100,000 BMW, you should have $1 million.
Or $2 million if it's 5%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not gonna.
So
wait
I
till
mean,
have
it's just
really cash, but
I feel like
I'm
I
young
agree
though. Like,
and I don't agree with that.
Yeah, but it's like different. It's like one thing if you're paying, like have all the. I mean, I'm gonna be paying rent pretty soon, but
You don't have a ton of overhead.
yeah, I'm like I don't have a child, so it's like I can take a little more risk. And if I buy it in cash, yes, there's risk, but it's way less risky than financing this thing. So
You mean like the 50-20-30 rule?
what the heck?
No, it's not. It's not the 50, 20, 30. Although I don't even 50, 20, 30 is you what?
Let's see. Sorry,
Okay.
I should've done it.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of this. 50, 20, 30 budget rule. The rule states that you should spend up to 50% of your after-tax income on needs and obligations that you must have or must do. The remaining half should be split up between 20% savings and debt repayment and 30% to everything else that you might want. I feel like that's a terrible explanation.
This isn't great, but
Yeah,
whatever.
also,
my
like,
mic is buzzing.
50% needs. So you're only okay. I mean, so
I think
half of your income should, so your expenses, it's kind of like backwards. Like they said this backwards, I feel like. So 50% of your income or your expenses should be half of your income. All your expenses should be half of your income. There we go. That took a while to come out of my mouth.
Yeah. I don't know, because I don't follow any, like, I don't save like 30% or 40% or 20%. Like, I don't have any rules like that. 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% savings. Interesting. I don't know
I've
where
heard of
tax
this.
is accounted for in there. Speaking of, I just had to pay taxes. I do quarterlies and whatnot, and that was rough. That was not fun. Paying 6 figures in taxes really sucks because that would have been an I-8.
Yeah, right. I'm looking at this chart right now because I'm in a position and I'm getting kind of.
I told you to close it because I knew you were going to be distracted. Watch your position.
Yeah, I'm just
so that's
watching it
the
go
I-8
against me.
is a good goal. What are some other long-term goals? All right. That was another question on Instagram. All right. What are some of your long-term goals besides getting an I-8? Like longer term, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 20 years from now.
You want me to answer?
Yeah.
This first? All right. Well, I have certain financial goals, and I have goals relating to stocks. And I have goals. They're all written down on my phone. I actually have them on my home screen. But
I saw that.
yeah. So I have real estate goals. I want to buy 2 more properties before I'm 20.
Okay.
2 more like like multifamily though, not like normal single family households. I want to buy 2 multifamily before I'm 20, and then I'd like to be a 7-figure trader before I'm 20 as well.
Okay.
So those are like 2 of my bigger financial goals.
What's one goal that, like, you know, by the time, like, within your whole lifespan, like some insane goal that seems way far out of reach? What is it? Like,
I want to
like your moonshot goal.
my moonshot. I mean, probably. I love boats. I want to own a mega yacht. Like
A mega yacht,
I think about
okay.
that a lot. It's like I just feel like if you go on like my Instagram Explore page, it's all like mega yachts. Like it's mega yachts and like finance.
So you'd get a yacht before you got a jet, then I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
And you would get a jet before you get a. Okay, so
Yep.
we can kind of like crowd. What's the word? Like carpool, but jet pool and yacht, super yacht pool. So we can like
You can fly my jet and
You
I'll
can use
go
my
on your
yacht.
All right,
All right.
fair.
deal.
Deal.
Have you guys seen the mega yacht down there?
Yeah, that I was. Dude, I.
Oh, is there a
It's
mega
yeah,
yacht?
it's
crazy.
sick.
Really?
It's so sick. I'll pop a photo up.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get a jet. Like, there's no question. Probably within the next 5 years.
There's a helicopter on this one.
There's a helicopter.
Is it by down there? Or
I'm
is
just
it?
gonna
It's on
have
the
a jet
trail.
though.
It's on
Who
the-
needs
it's,
a yacht?
Oh, you need me, dude.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
sick.
yachts are cool, but think about a jet. Like, a jet opens up the entire world.
So does a
And
yacht.
Yeah, if you're trying to spend 3 days, 4 days traveling, like jets, you can, like, if I wanted to, if I had a jet right now, I could call up my pilot who's on standby, full-time pilot, right? Head to the airport, walk on the runway, no security, none of that nonsense, get on my jet and be in LA in like a couple hours.
Yeah, I could charter.
And then I could come back tonight.
I could charter a jet, or I could buy a ticket, or I could buy a ticket online, right? But or it's like,
No,
but a yacht is like
chartering a jet. Like, you can't. Like, I'm saying, if you own a jet and you have a pilot on standby full time, like the second you have the second you want to go somewhere, like it could be an impulsive thing. You could just hop on your jet. and
No,
go.
I'm pretty with chartering jets. If you have like connections, you can. Because I have one of my friends is in the music industry, and he has like some higher up friends, and they'll just fly private jets. They don't own jets, but like they have connections, and they could charter jets like that wherever they want to go. So, but like I don't know. There's something
Fair.
special about a yacht. It's like you can literally go out in the middle of the sea with your friends and be in your literal own world. Like
I tell
that's
you,
the.
I'm
so
coming
sick to
on
me.
your yacht. You're coming on my jet, but I will have a jet.
Word.
That's gonna happen.
Mark, have you been out on like a cruise or like out on the ocean like that?
Yeah, but I love the ocean, but I'm not like a big like deep ocean guy.
Cruise
I
is,
don't
like,
like going
not-
out. I don't like cruises.
No. That's not
Nah.
even like the proper, like if you go on a yacht versus on a cruise, like it's not nowhere near the same thing. Like I've been on a schooner, it's like similar size almost, like that's peaceful. It was really peaceful and like fun.
Cool.
So yacht would feel the same,
Yeah.
but even cooler.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, are you on my side? Are you yacht over private
Oh
jet?
yeah, I love the ocean.
Your yacht over private
You-
jet? You'd take a yacht over a private jet?
Yeah, Mark has not.
No way.
Mark has not been out in the ocean at
Yeah,
night.
you gotta-
seen
I don't like going out
bioluminescence.
in the middle of the ocean. Like, I just don't like that.
It's
I want to
awesome.
live on the ocean, but I don't like going out in the middle of the
Foghorn
ocean.
sucks. Foghorn's not fun at night. But anyways,
All right, we'll answer another question here. Those are a couple of good goals. I didn't answer the car one, but I don't know. I'll probably get like a Lambo next. That's
Yeah.
not. I don't know. I want a McLaren P1 eventually. That's probably my like
Their dream car.
dream car.
That'd be sick.
Dream.
Well,
Well,
a Lambo. Do you?
honestly, my real dream car is I like see my dream car keeps changing because my dream car was a McLaren 570S. Got that. I really want a Porsche GT3 RS.
Yeah, you've
And
wanted that
then-
for a while.
Yeah, and then probably a P1.
Okay. Yeah. It's, your
Favorite
would you
hobbies?
say?
Next
Okay.
question.
Oh,
We're
going with these.
moving
How
on.
many of these do we have?
There's like a couple hundred, but I'll just choose
Okay.
a couple good ones. What do you do for fun?
Hobbies?
Yeah.
What do I do for fun besides stocks?
Golf.
Golf's fun.
Jack is becoming a professional DJ.
Yeah, becoming a DJ.
You got into
our meeting
that?
over there has a board.
Yeah, DJ controller.
Yeah, that thing. So I've been hitting that up and surfing. I love to surf. Surfing, and most people don't know. Do you know what hydrofoiling is?
Is it like that little thing that pulls you up in the air, like you kind of
Yeah.
skip on the water?
Kind of, yeah. It's kind of like you're flying. I actually, I would argue that this weird obscure sport I do helped me like secure a deal the other day with this trader I was on the phone with. We were talking, and I arranged a meeting. We just connected over surfing.
That's pretty cool.
before we even talked about business.
Oh,
I was
neat.
doing it with this, super high up trader guy and
Cool.
who worked on the New York Stock Exchange. And I was talking to him and said, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then someone mentioned surfing and then we just got into it. We talked about surfing for like half an hour. So it's like,
Cool.
That's actually kind of like a little side lesson is try to create personal relationships with people that you want to continue doing business with, right? So it's like this guy and I, like, I've never even talked to him before and we immediately connected over surfing. And then they talk about this with job interviews. It's like try to connect with the interviewer on like a personal level. And I think maybe it's not why I got the deal, but it definitely helped. And I feel like me and this guy are gonna.
Because this is genuine.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. I gotta. Let's see. My hobbies. I got into boxing in South Carolina when I was there. I was boxing every day, which was really fun. That's a newer hobby. I play
Yeah.
golf.
Would you fight someone? Would you like go like professional or not professional, but like an actual like match? Like
Probably not.
yeah.
Nah. I don't know. I did some sparring. But it's good exercise. It's really good cardio. Boxing's crazy cardio. But that's
Yeah. I
that's
tried
a cool hobby.
I
Boxing.
forgot about. I tried boxing once, and or no, I'd say I did it for a bit at college because one of my homies was into boxing, and this thing is so twisty. I don't
Yeah,
know.
these mic stands. I don't know how I feel about them.
We gotta get new mic
Okay,
stands.
last question that I'm gonna read. How do you keep motivated?
Keep motivated. I was actually thinking about that, because I think what you have to do, and this is one thing that I believe separates people who make it and people who don't, is turning other negative emotions into positive, good emotions, right? Like if you, let's say you get rejected, right, by a girl, or you lose money trading, or you have a bad day in general, where you get a freaking parking ticket for some BS reason, but turning that into motivation,
Yeah.
and it's like because if you lose and you give up, you've actually lost. But if you lose and then like you can lose the battle but win the war, right? Like I wholeheartedly believe that it's how you bounce back, and that's what's most important is like getting down on yourself and turning that into saying like, okay, how can I make good out of this? So it's like I believe staying motivated is learning how to create these negative emotions into positive ones.
Negative action into a positive reaction.
There you go.
I just made that
Did you
up.
pull that out of your head?
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. Quotes.
Wow.
But that.
Do you have like a button you can press to?
Um,
No, that's a good point though.
There we go.
Nice. Hyping me up.
It's funny.
nice.
What about you? How do you stay motivated?
I think there's like the very generic saying. It's like, well, I guess a generic question like, does money make you happy? And the answer is no. Simple answer. If money is what motivates you, you'll eventually become unmotivated.
Yep.
Like it's inevitable that like yes, you can keep setting higher monetary goals, and like I use goals to help push me forward. We were just talking about goals. Like goals are a great way to help you progress through life and move up in the world.
Yep.
But if you have a goal of making $1 million and then you make $1 million, you might be happy for a day or two, and then you realize it's just a number in your bank account, and then like, what am I going to do now? Like, I have to set another goal to make $2 million, and then that comes around. And if you're fulfilled, if you're trying to be fulfilled on a monetary goal, or if you think a monetary value or a number in your bank account is going to fulfill you, it won't. You got to enjoy the process from where you are to where you want to be, because it's the process that is going to be fulfilling. It's not the end goal.
Yeah, and
Because
it's like,
end goal, that fulfillment only lasts so long.
that's right.
Do you,
Is my audio
your
cutting
mic
out?
just went out.
Did I mess something up?
I tried to mute you for a sec because I didn't want it to like implode the audio.
No,
Do
good
you
catch.
get what I mean?
No, I
Because you're
totally
going to get your
understand.
IA and you're going to be very fulfilled. It's going to be
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, it must be like when you got your McLaren. Every time you went to a parking lot, you turned around, you looked at it, or like it when you would get in, it would feel really good. But how does it feel now? Having it must just be like every day. Like, oh, I have this.
And eventually everything wears off. And that's why it's like if I if the only thing that was like keeping me motivated was like getting that McLaren, like I would just be unmotivated now because I've had it for like 3 months and I've got it. So it's like, all right, well, what am I gonna do? Just sit around? So it's great having a McLaren, and like I like I said, I keep setting these goals, but I know they're not gonna fulfill me beyond a couple months because then I'm just gonna want something else. And I definitely have gotten into that cycle of like pushing the boundary and like, you know, pushing my limits and thinking like that, like chasing that next high when it comes to like buying cars, but it's just unsustainable.
Yeah.
So I know that like, if I just enjoy what I'm doing, like doing this,
the journey
and trading and knowing that the cars and whatever else that'll just come as a result of enjoying and loving what I do, then you're fulfilled with the process of it.
This thing sucks.
All right,
Yeah.
this mic is really just
Well,
not.
so
not
we will upgrade to like the table mics that everybody else uses that are like easily floatable. Not that crap one we had for your desk.
Okay.
What happened? I feel like these mics, like, it didn't used to. I wonder
These
if
things are so
Just
sensitive.
spin it around a bit.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
maybe not a good idea.
I'm muting him in the meantime. There you go.
Oh, he got muted. Jeez.
Do you want to talk about driving down the PCH or moving into the mansion for a month, setting up your setup?
Yeah, that was
I'm
funny.
Giving you some ideas. Here.
I've talked about this, but I was in LA, moved into this like content type house for a month and a half, and like I've got my full setup, my full trading setup. You know, in the master bedroom against the window. I'll try to find a picture of it. We could throw it up there, but I had 2 vertical monitors on either side, 2 horizontal monitors in the middle, looking out over our backyard, palm tree, big swimming pool, and that was really, even though I was only there for a month and a half, it was a really cool period of time where I was like definitely very like motivated and inspired because I knew that that time that was rented, and you know we had a 12-month lease. I ended up not staying there for whatever reason. No one did, but knowing that like I eventually knew that I would be back in that position, and like I was saying this the other day, like I want to have a house in LA, like a mansion in Beverly Hills, just so I can go there for a week or two and experience that like that lifestyle, because it's a whole different world out there, and being able to experience that and live that dream, like living in a mansion in Beverly Hills, like
Yeah, right.
like straight out of a movie, straight out of a TV show, something I always wanted to do. It was really cool, and then I tore out my setup.
I
really
guess,
laughed.
Yeah.
kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, it's like you had this goal of moving to LA. And a lot of people, there's kind of like this first big goal that you have, right? Yours is moving to LA. You accomplish that. And what did that feel like when you first got there? Did that motivate you more? Was it like, did you kind of feel
Yeah.
stuck? Like, oh, now what? Like, I've worked all this
No,
way. Now it's like,
in LA, I felt like a really small fish
yeah,
in a big pond of sharks.
yeah.
And that feeling where, like coming from where I was, I felt bigger per se.
Oh my
But-
gosh, yeah, small
but-
town.
Yeah, but then you go to LA and it's like every other car is $1 million car, and there's just so much money and people with so much success, and you just feel really small. And it's a weird feeling. It's really motivating, but you also feel like so far out of place, and I liked the feeling of that, but I didn't, because whose phone was that?
Nice.
Because I was experiencing that lifestyle that I always wanted, and like I knew that now that I had done this and made this move, that I could do anything I wanted. So it gave me that confidence to be like, all right, I can really do anything that I set my mind to.
Yeah.
But then it was also like, wow, like I am still really so far away from where I want to be.
You know what?
Which is like, it's a motivating and it's like a scary feeling because like,
I bet, yeah. I mean, you know what? I wrote this. I think I wrote this in the notes. Is
Boo, no swing.
oh, I'm sorry.
We are now a age appropriate podcast.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, have fun editing.
Nah, that's fine.
No, I think I wrote this in the notes because I thought about this a lot, and it was how the first step is really the hardest step. Because once you accomplish the first step, you've proven to yourself that you can do what, like, accomplish like some lofty goal, right? That used to seem pretty outlandish.
Yep.
And once you accomplish that first step, now the whole world opens up almost. And now it's like, wow, I've like all this doubt that you had, and you've proven to yourself that you're successful. And along with the first step goes is growth is like exponential, because it doesn't go like this. Like, you don't make $100 trading, and then if growth was linear, this is how it would work. You make $100 trading, and you make 200, then 300, and it's like, it just, but growth is like what happened with you and what happened with me is like, I used to not be profitable, and I first started to become profitable, right? And then I started to gain a little more profit, and now all of a sudden I think I can like see this curve going up, and it's like it increases a lot more, and all of a sudden, because you become more knowledge, your knowledge increases exponentially, and the amount of money you're investing with increases exponentially. But it's the same thing for everything. It's like like to say this, like when you're a successful trader, right? Making $100 doesn't seem like that great of an accomplishment, right? But if you increase linearly, that would be saying 100 increments. But instead what happens is like, okay, all of a sudden I'm doubling my position size. Now I'm quadrupling. It's like, it's by multiples. It's not, and like I said, that's with anything. It makes a lot of sense in my head. I guess I'm not explaining it perfectly.
Your first $1 million is really difficult to make.
Oh yeah.
But each million becomes
there you go.
It's that much easier.
It's like first it's $1 million that's hard to make, then it's 10 million that's hard to make, then it's 100 million that's hard to make.
Yeah.
And that's
First million's easy. I mean, the first million's hard. Second million's easy.
Yeah.
Third million's easy. Fourth million's easy. And it just keeps
Yeah.
going. But then it's like, okay, 10, 100 million. Oh, I swore again. I need some water. Can someone please grab some water for myself?
We are running low on
I
water.
would like water
This
too.
is the water I was talking about that they
crap.
literally add salt in to make you thirstier.
Can I also get some water?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Water. How good is that?
I think this is funny. So, sips water.
Oh,
I want to make this point. There's a lot.
That was wait. You gotta edit that in. That bit of me. That was sick.
All right.
And like
Oh,
you'll
and,
just see in the when you edit. That was dope.
no, I was laughing about Mark's
There's-
swallowing into the
There's
mic.
been a lot of millionaires created over the last 2.5 years, from the corona, the dip with the recovery and the insane bull market that we experienced up until 3.5 months ago, through NFTs, through crypto, through trading in the stock market, and I this next cycle, there are going to be a lot more millionaires created. Surviving in between each cycle, in between the dips, if you will, is the most difficult part. And I think a lot of people I know have looked at me and have and I've spoken with traders who are like like best, like anyone could make money the last 2 years trading. Like, anyone who could open up a brokerage account could make money trading previous to 4 months ago. And so I genuinely I did not know if what was happening and the success I was having was purely luck or purely because there was so much opportunity out there and the markets were going straight up. I didn't know if the edge I had was great enough to help me be able to get through the dip, this next period where things are slow, the market's pulling back, crypto's back in a hole, and NFTs are non-existent. The stock markets, the opportunities are extremely hard to find, but luckily now I am fully confident due to my progress this year. The fact that I'm not red this year, I know that any doubt I had prior to this period is gone.
I mean, if you
And I know
can-
that I'm confident that I'll be able to do this forever.
Yeah, I mean, if you can make money in this market, it just proves to yourself that when the market recovers and it's just, it's going up like it should, that you're just gonna be a lot more confident in your trading and you'll be more experienced. And next time we get this type of dip or recession, pullback, whatever you want to call it, you're gonna be prepared. You're gonna be ready. I remember, this is actually crazy thinking about this. We when I kind of like first started like really getting into trading, we went out to dinner. Remember this?
Yeah,
And and you just bought a ton of SPY puts at like the peak of the market. Mm-hmm. And if we could probably pull up a chart. Can you turn that down?
Yeah, our mics are like very, very loud.
It's your headphones.
They're just getting louder and louder.
Yeah,
and
why are
louder.
they getting louder? I have to
Sorry,
take
I'm
this.
messing with it. This thing is, I'm learning.
Is that
That's
better?
this thing
It's
every day,
still
so-
loud.
It's still
as-
very loud.
Yeah. I turned up your headphones. I thought that's what you
Okay, no, turn down.
Turn down.
Like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that's better.
Down like the market. Yeah, no, I remember you bought them, and the market kind of consolidated at this high, or at least the SPY did. And it consolidated, up, down, and all of a sudden it just dropped. Mm-hmm. And it's been dropping ever since.
Yeah, I did hit that perfect. And I think, yeah, interestingly enough, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I've more and more, the more I've, over the last, 4 or 5 years trading, I've slowly realized that everything quite literally boils down to like the overall market, and that there are, some stocks, like I said, that go against the overall market. But if you can really develop an understanding of how the overall market moves, the chances of you like being on the wrong side of a move are very slim. Like I was playing these huge market swings and hitting them perfectly because I understood and I understand now how the market moves. And you have to be in tune with the overall market. And I think so many traders just focus on individual stocks and don't realize that at the end of the day, everything is going to be a reflection. All these stocks are going to be a reflection of what the greater market is doing. And so, like you said, I remember being really heavy on that short position and doing very well on it. And there was like a month and a half period of like doubt, if you will, where, things were trading range bound, the market was trading sideways, but I stuck with it and I knew that like the overall market would pull back because I, had a good intuition to
Yeah.
to the next move that I was expecting.
Interesting.
Did I say that right? Yeah.
Speaking of
I
markets,
think I got my point through.
did you ever mess around with like Forex or futures?
No,
Never.
I never trade Forex. No, or futures.
Nope, just only options. I mean, you mess around with equities, right? A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like I was trading shares for a while there. I just found what worked for me, and that's just trading options, trading very risky options, right?
trading.
Just
Well, I
naked
wouldn't-
calls and puts. It's
Yeah.
pretty risky.
I remember when you told me that. I was
Pretty
like,
risky
what the
business.
heck? You're just trading.
Yeah.
Because I was trading credit and debit spread.
And that's like this trader I had met last year in LA. He was asking me about my trading style and what I was trading. I'm like, yeah, I'm just trading naked calls and puts. And he's like, wow, like you have to be an expert. You have to be the best to be able to trade naked calls and puts and be profitable.
Yeah.
It's like extremely difficult. It's an extremely leveraged position. Like,
Yeah. No.
I'm not buying credit debit spreads. I'm literally buying a call or a put.
No, you're right.
And not many people are profitable doing just that.
Yeah, and the issue
And that is all I do.
And the issue with that for beginner traders is in order to trade these types of spreads, if you're selling, it's pretty capital intensive, right? Because if you're selling shorts, like you need to have, because you can lose more than you put in, right? So it's like, to do that, it's like there's a lot of barriers to entry all around trading, right? I mean, there's the normal the pattern day trader rule, right? You have to have 25,000 account. It's like there's all these different So you are in one way limited to what you can and what you can't trade due to the amount of money you have. Like you can even have too much money, right? Like if you have too much money, now you're worrying about liquidity problems, which I've never dealt with because I'm not trading millions of dollars in one position. But I mean, actually, that's a lie. I have dealt with liquidity problems on like super low volume stocks I've tried to play option contracts on where I get in. Have you ever done this where you've bought an option contract trying to swing a stock and it's like there's no volume?
Yeah,
and,
of course.
and then you're just, you know, if the contract might be in the money, but now you're going below like the mid. And now you're trying to, now you're selling below the mid, you're selling near the bid. And it's like,
No one's buying.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've also had instances where I've bought really low volume contracts and the spread's so large that all of a sudden I'm up like so much money and I think I'm like ready to lock that in.
Yeah.
And then you go to get filled and then all of a sudden the spread flips and now there's like now I'm down like twice as much as I was just up.
yeah, it's really tricky.
Because you could just manipulate if there's a volume on contracts, you can really just manipulate it.
Oh yeah, you could totally, because the bid and the ask is just where the volume is between the mid, right, or at like above and below the mid. Like if you can look, one thing, I mean, I have Active Trader on TD Ameritrade is a really good way to kind of visually see and understand the bid and the ask, right? You can see where there are sell orders, you can see where there are buy orders, and but yeah, when the spread is that wide, it's like where there's no real defined place to buy because there's the range is just huge, especially on a contract when it's leveraged 100 to 1.
How are these contracts? You have a position open.
They're not doing too hot. I think
Darn.
I'm pretty confident in the position, so I'm holding them. I mean, there's a pretty clear pattern. It drops, pulls back, and then continues to drop. I think it's going to bounce off the 200 and reverse. You can kind of visually see that resistance. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. If it gets above that 200, though, closes, I'm just going to cut my losses, which would suck to do on a podcast.
Seems like you have a solid trading plan.
Yeah, I've really refined my plan. Like I know where I'm taking profits and I know where I'm cutting my losses, which is really important. I want to talk about this trading journal and how important it is. Like I've been like the last 2 months, I'd say, I've been really good at just like logging every one of my trades.
Nice. Are you doing it within a software, or are you just doing it in your phone?
I'm just doing it on my
notes?
phone notes. Yeah, I write like probably a paragraph or two about each position, and it's just made me really aware of what I'm doing, what went wrong. Because if you're trading and then you make a mistake and you say like in the moment you're like, oh shoot, I did this, I won't do that again. You're gonna keep doing it unless you actually realize and you make a conscious effort to change. You're not going to actually improve. Like I remember I was listening to I listened to a lot of podcasts. I listened to a podcast and it was talking about how Tiger Woods never takes a golf swing. His coach said Tiger Woods never takes a golf swing without consciously thinking of his swing, right? Like he's aware of like, you know, his hips initiate. I mean, I can't really speak too much on golf. I'm not a golfer, nowhere near to Tiger Woods, but it's like you have to be conscious of what you're doing. If you're just mindlessly buying and selling and you don't know and like you say, oh, this went wrong, that went wrong, you can't actually improve. So I think keeping a trading journal for anyone who wants to improve as a trader is super important and necessary. And yeah, that's my point.
Yeah. I wanted to briefly mention this because we're now further in the process of creating what might literally be like the greatest financial opportunity available to anyone, and you're passionate about it, and so I think you should say a couple words of where we are now.
I'm actually very excited about this project, mainly because you and I we've been working on this, and the potential this has to actually help. There's so many barriers to entry to becoming a trader. There's I wouldn't say to becoming a trader, to making this a full-time job. Exactly.
Which is what this will do.
Exactly. And we're just essentially covering every single, there's no other offer out there like it. We are covering every single basis of a barrier to entry that there is, right? So one of the biggest things for traders is funds, capital, right? It's very capital intensive, and you can't make a living trading off a $5,000 account. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to make 20% day in, day out. It's just, you're going to be risking too much. Your position side's too heavy. You're going to lose money. You're going to blow up the account. Unless you were like some professional trader. Or sorry, not professional, but like some godly trader who can predict the future. But yeah, so we covered that basis. We covered one other thing that's super complicated with trading is taxes. Capital gains tax, short gains capital gain tax is huge. And if the government's taking, Uncle Sam taking 40% of your P&L, I mean, that's a lot of money, right? So setting up legal entities to go along with your trading, be able to cut off your taxes.
I think too, a good point is like, no matter like how much time you have in the day to trade, there's flexibility there to where you can learn how to scalp. You can learn the best possible way that has proven to work and continues to still work. The number one best scalping strategy out there, the number one best day trading strategy out there, the number one best swing trading strategy out there. And then risk management, trading psychology. This is all going to be taught by traders who have been trading for 40, 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
Right?
So I
Maybe
mentioned
not 6 years.
I mentioned in the podcast. I mean, this guy, I think he might have been trading for 6 years. I mentioned the podcast. I was on the phone with someone earlier, right? This guy was 40 years. He used to work in the New York Stock Exchange when it was on paper. There were no computers. So he was talking about the transition from paper to computers, which is crazy. I mean, the amount of market wisdom this guy has is unreal. So it's like people like individuals like this will be involved in this project, and it'll be exclusive, and we will cater the questions. A lot of the questions will probably, come from our mentorship group now of people like, okay, like we can see what people at this skill level are asking and what they're thinking, and trying to get inside the head of a trader who's been at it for 2 months, less than 2 years. And it's just it's game changing what we're doing.
Yeah. And it's like, I've said this, but it's like everything that I know, just about everything that I know has been put inside the master class, inside the mentorship. Like I only know so much and every trader that is the best in what they do only knows so much because they specialize in it. Yeah. And as much as I'd love to take the next 5 years to develop a better or a day trading strategy, a scalping strategy, I can't. So but as much as I want to, I can't. But I want to be able to help anyone who wants to, no matter what their limitations are, to become a full-time trader. So the only way to do that is to find these veterans who are the best in their industry, and they have been the best and continue to be the best. So we're putting together this panel of coaches, and I'm using this community that I've been able to create to do so.
Yeah.
I was just staring at the ground. We get all these comments on TikTok and they're like, oh, he's just lying because he's not making eye contact. But when I get into something, I look at the ground. I'm going to try not to do that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, these people don't know that Mark never went to a public speaking class in college. He didn't go to college. So
I didn't go to any class or any training. Nah.
No, so
it's all from...
That's interesting. I mean,
just the YouTube.
To be honest, I'll be honest, I'm excited to have have these veteran traders, the literal best in their industry. Some of these guys are 8-figure traders, $10 million and plus a year. Some of these guys are doing who are going to be working with us, and I'm excited to talk to them personally for my own knowledge.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I definitely don't know it all, and talking to these guys is going to be just as good for me as it is for everyone who's going to join this group. So I'm just overly excited. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
We really should have yelled at the people like downstairs. You guys are hearing him in the background, right?
Yeah.
I think
it's all right.
How long? What are we at for time?
Oh, we are definitely over. Oh, well, the camera's rolling before. Probably around an hour 5, hour 10.
All right, I'd say that's a good note to
start wrapping it
end
up.
it on.
We'll plug the mentorship group, which is like our only offer right now. I give everyone the ability to copy my trades if they so desire. I say when I'm buying a stock, when I'm selling a stock. So full transparency there. And then I also teach my system, like I just mentioned. It's everything that I know, everything that I've learned over the last 5-6 years. It's been a while, and I really like. At the end of the day, it's amazing to see that what I teach truly has an impact on people's lives, and that I can continue doing well during the bear market and continue helping people make money. So I'll put the first link in the description if you're interested in that. And check out the YouTube video. We post a day in the lifestyle YouTube video every week on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram, The Daily Traders, and The Weekly Traders. Yeah. But hope you guys did enjoy this episode. And without further ado, we will all see you in next week's episode. All right.
Goodbye.
Later.